Hello, my dear children. Welcome to today's class. So, what are we learning today? Today, we are doing this chapter called Water a Necessity. Yes, water is very, very necessary for humans or for any living being to live. We cannot survive without water. So we need water every day to survive. It is a basic need of life. We use it for drinking, cooking, washing, and other activities. So, apart from drinking, there are many other things in which water is being used. Living things cannot survive without water. Just imagine your life without water, even for a single day. Although three-fourths of the Earth's surface is covered with water. So, as you know, that our planet is a blue planet and 70% of our Earth is covered with water. But still, the water that can be used for cooking and for other purposes, that is only 3%. Rest, all the water is waste on for that. It is not fit for drinking. Actually, it's not waste otherwise for the environment, but it is not fit for drinking. Why? Because the water which is there in seas and oceans, that water is salty water, and salty water cannot be made without salt. Like, salt cannot be separated from that water, and that particular water is not fit for drinking, washing clothes, bathing, anything, right? So, although three-fourths of Earth's surface is covered with water, but only a small portion of it can be used for drinking. This is because most of the water on Earth is present in seas and oceans, which contain salty water. So, which is that water which can be used for drinking and other purposes? What are the sources of water? So, the main source of water is rain. Okay, and that rain, when it comes on earth, it fills the seas, it fills seas and oceans, but then that rain also fills ponds, lakes, and rivers, and it also seeps underground, and only that small portion of water which is present in ponds, lakes, rivers, waterfalls, underground water, that can be purified and made fit for drinking. All right. So there are various sources of water. Some of them are, first is rain. Rain is the main source of fresh water. So fresh water is that water which can be used for drinking. Rainwater fills oceans, seas, lakes, and other water bodies. Now, underground water. When rainwater helps to maintain the level of surface and underground water. So, when rain comes, it fills the water which we can see, like oceans, seas, lakes, ponds, etc. But then there is so wide ground area, land area on which rain falls. So where does that water go? It seeps inside the ground. It goes under the ground, and then we draw it from under the ground, we purify it, and then we make it fit for drinking. So some rainwater flows into the soil and reaches the layer of solid rocks and collects as underground water. In some hilly areas, it comes out to the surface in the form of springs. Okay, so in some hilly areas, when the water goes underground in the form of spring, it comes from under the ground itself. Now, oceans and seas. Ocean and seas are the areas of salty water. They are very large bodies of water, but a sea is smaller than a ocean. So, sea, when we go on the beach side, that's a sea. Okay, ocean, we have Pacific Ocean, Arabian Ocean, Indian Ocean. All these are the oceans. Now, what are lakes and ponds? A lake is much deeper than a pond. The sun rays do not reach under the lake. A pond is a small body of water surrounded by land. So, this is a pond. and it fills up in rainy season. When it rains, the sun rays can easily fall beneath it. So pond is smaller than a lake. A lake is very deep, like there is Dal Lake, there is Naini Lake, there are many lakes in India. Okay, but lakes are very, very deep, and the sun, even the sun rays cannot reach beneath the lake. But a pond is relatively shallow, and the sun rays can reach beneath the pond. Rivers flow from the mountains, hills, and other places where it rains a lot. Rivers which are filled by rainwater are known as rain fed rivers. For example, Narmada, Krishna, Godavari rivers. These rivers have a lot of water in rainy season, but often dry up in summers. When there is less rain, they get dried up because they are being filled only when there is a lot of rain. These are known as non-perennial rivers. Okay, so rain-fed rivers which flow from the mountain hills and other places where it rains a lot. Rivers which are filled by rainwater are known as rain-fed rivers. And what names some rain-fed rivers? They are Narmada, Krishna, Godavari. And these rivers have a lot of water in rainy season but often dry up in summers when it is very hot. And these are also known as non-perennial rivers. A lot of snow or ice present in high mountains. When snow or ice melts in high mountains, it flows down to form rivers. These rivers are known as snow-fed rivers or perennial rivers. So there are two types of rivers: non-perennial, that means which are fed by rain, which fills when rain comes. So these are rain-fed rivers or non-perennial rivers. Then there are perennial rivers which are being filled when the snow or the glaciers on the mountains, it melts and the water then flows down in the rivers. Okay. All right, so let's write that why water is important to us. So water is used for drinking, washing utensils, washing clothes, bathing, for many other purposes, for cleaning, for bathing our pets. Name the rivers closest to your city. So whatever city you are living in, the rivers closest to your city, please write about it. In my city, Yamuna is flowing. Okay. So the place where the river joins the sea is called the mouth of the river, right? So you know that the rivers which are being flowing gradually, it will find its way and it will meet the sea. And the part where it meets the sea, it is called the mouth of the river. The deposit of sand, clay and silt formed at the mouth of the river is known as delta. Okay. So at the mouth of the river, when it goes in, before going to the sea, there is a lot of sand, there's a lot of clay and silt which is being formed over there. It forms a kind of curve of path which is called delta. Nile is the longest river in the world. It is present in Africa. Now, adding chemicals like iodine or chlorine is added to water in order to purify it. It also kills germs present in water. So most of the time, the chemicals like iodine and chlorine are being added to water to purify it, to kill the germs. Also, when we swim in water in swimming pools, chlorine is being added to that water so that it kills the germs when different kind of people swim in it, and people do not fall sick. Now, what is water pollution? When people are making the water dirty in one form or the other, it causes water pollution, and water pollution is becoming a very, very serious issue for our environment, because already we have very less water which is fit for drinking, and making it polluted, polluted to this level that it doesn't get purified. It even lessens the fresh water which is available. So we should be very careful about not spreading the water pollution. And water pollution, it is being done by we people only. We throw cans in it, we throw different type of plastic in it. It goes and gets deposited in the riverbed, and it pollutes the water deeply. Also, all the chemical waste coming out of from the factories, it is making a layer of chemicals on the water, and it is polluting the water to a great extent. Due to human activities, water gets polluted. It affects the quality of water and results in shortage of pure drinking water. We will suffer a lot of diseases if we use contaminated water for cooking and drinking. Contaminated water, the water which has a lot of germs, it has a lot of bacteria, fungus, and by accident we use it, we can fall seriously ill. There are so many waterborne diseases which are being caused due to uh, water which is not germ free. Some of the common waterborne diseases are diarrhea, cholera, typhoid, jaundice. Sometimes these diseases can turn fatal. So fatal means we can die if we catch such waterborne diseases, and it gets worse. That is why it is important to drink purified water. Water pollution is also harmful for aquatic plants and animals. The aquatic animals are eating a lot of plastic, thinking that it is the food for them, and they get diseases. Also, if the water animals are getting the disease, it is further infecting the water. Yes. Now, what are the waterborne diseases? We suffer from some diseases when we consume contaminated water. These are called waterborne diseases. So, the diseases caused by contaminated water are called waterborne diseases. Some of the common waterborne diseases are typhoid, cholera, hepatitis, dysentery, and diarrhea. These waterborne diseases can be prevented by purifying the drinking water before using it. We should also clean our water pipes, storage tanks, and taps frequently to keep us safe from waterborne diseases. Okay, so not just purifying the water, but when we are storing the water, we should keep those utensils, those vessels germ free, and those vessels should be cleaned regularly. Now, it is our duty to protect the source of water. What are the different sources of water from where drinking water comes? The lakes, the ponds, the wells, the underground water. So it is our duty to keep these sources germ free, to keep these sources pollution free. So what steps can be taken to control water pollution? Wastewater must be recycled. Okay, so the water which we are using in our houses to, suppose we are using water to wash clothes, so that particular water can be collected, and that water can be used for cleaning the bathrooms, for mopping the floors, for washing our vehicles. So we can recycle the used water this way. Do not bathe animals, wash utensils and clothes with detergents in the sources of water such as rivers and lakes. So what do people do? They go to the river, they use detergents, chemicals to wash their clothes with river water. That's very bad, that's very harmful. Also, we should not take the animals to take bath in the fresh water. It can cause a lot of germs. It contaminates the fresh water. We should not throw garbage in water bodies like cans or plastic bottles. Reduce the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides in farming, when because it gets washed away in water only, and the water, it also contains a lot of fertilizers and pesticides. Treat domestic sewage and wastewater from factories before releasing them in water bodies. There is a lot of chemical waste from the in the factories, so before they release it in the water bodies, it should be treated, it should be made chemical free first, and then it should be released in water. So if all these steps will be taken care of, then water pollution can be avoided. Now, what is water conservation? Water conservation is the practice of using water efficiently. Careful use of water is called water conservation. So, I have seen that when people are washing their utensils, they are just washing, they are applying detergents on the utensils and they just keep the tap on. Okay, people are brushing their teeth, keeping the tap on. They are having shower for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and the water is getting wasted. That is like very, very bad. We should use the water optimally. Should use the water sensibly and efficiently, and we should conserve the water. Now, availability of clean water is one of the major challenges faced by most countries in the world. In many countries, fresh water is almost finished. So it is an alarming situation for the world now. It is very important to save water. We can conserve water in following ways. Use water in a bucket to wash your vehicles at home. By planting more trees, if we plant more trees, there will be more water vapors, there will be more rain, and also there will be less floods also. Using a bucket or mug to take bath instead of shower, recycling industrial waste, using a fixed quality of water to wash clothes. It's not that if you are washing clothes, just open the tap, let the water be running. That's not good. Just use a fixed quantity of water for washing clothes. Rainwater harvesting: when the rain comes, we should collect the rainwater directly in the big vessels, and then we can purify it and use it. Reduce the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides in farming. Do not throw garbage in water bodies. If we do not throw garbage in water bodies, the water will not be polluted and fresh water will be available. Now, forms of water. There are three main forms of water, that is solid, liquid, and gas. And water is the only source, it's the only thing which is available in all the three forms, and water is available in all the three forms in nature also. Now, water is present in nature in solid, liquid, and gaseous state. Solid state includes ice and snow that we find in polar regions and mountainous regions. Liquid state includes surface water, which is present in lakes, ponds, oceans, seas, etc. And gaseous state include water vapor, which are present in the environment, which is present in the atmosphere, and which is present in the air. Now, which water is fit for drinking? Water fit for drinking purpose is called potable water. So, the water which we drink, which is fit for drinking, it is called potable water. Drinking water should be pure. It should be germ free, and it should not have any harmful minerals also. Just imagine, can you just fill the glass of water from the river and drink it directly? No, it has a lot of dust, lot of germs, and need to be purified before drinking. Every city has a water purification plant, so we have water purifiers at home, but every city, the government of every city, they have put a water purification plant, and that from that water purification plant the water is being cleaned, and then it is supplied to different colonies and societies in that particular city, and that is how the government takes steps to purify the water for the whole city, for the whole town. Water from different water bodies is brought here for filtration. Now we can disinfect and purify water using different methods. Number one is boiling. So boiling is one of the best method to kill the germs, to make the water germ free. Boil water for 15 to 20 minutes and then cool it immediately and store it. Okay. Now, using filters. Filter is another method to remove impurities. For example, RO systems. Many households have RO systems, that is reverse osmosis, and that's the modern technology of water filtration. So, what is water cycle? How does rain occur on earth? How does rain fall on earth? We are going to study in water cycle. So there is a water cycle which is happening in nature every time. It is an ongoing process. Water evaporates, it gets cooled down, and then it again comes back on earth. How does this happen? It has a lot of processes. Let's study about them one by one. So let me explain you water cycle roughly, that what is it. So our earth's surface, 70% of our earth's surface is filled with water, whether it is seas, whether they are oceans, lakes, rivers, ponds, etc. And when the sun shines brightly, the sun, it heats up the water bodies. When it heats up the water bodies, the water from the water bodies, it gets evaporated. It turns into steam, it turns into water vapors and goes into our atmosphere. And this process of heating the water and converting into water vapors, this is called evaporation. Now the water vapors are there in atmosphere and they are very light because they are heated. So water vapors, they rise up. They rise up in the atmosphere, and above in the atmosphere the air is cool. And when these water vapors, they go up in the cool atmosphere, there they get cool down. The water vapor cool down, and when the water vapors cool down, it again changes into water droplets. And this process of changing the water vapors back into the water droplets is called condensation. Now what happens, there are water droplets in the atmosphere. These water droplets come together and they join to form clouds. And in these clouds, the water droplets further come closer to join, and now these water droplets become very big, this big and heavy that they cannot remain in the atmosphere anymore, and they come down again in the form of rain or snowfall, and this process is called precipitation. And it again, the water that comes down from the clouds, and it again fills the water bodies, and this process keeps on going from evaporation to condensation to precipitation to filling the water bodies again. And due to this process, the rainfall keeps on coming on earth. So this is a very interesting process in our nature. Let's read it out. There are four main stages in the water cycle. They are evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Now, evaporation. This is when warmth from the sun causes water from the ocean, ice, streams, lakes, soils to rise into air, turn into water vapor. The droplets, water vapor of join together to make clouds. So, water from the water bodies get heated and converts into water vapors. This is called evaporation. Now, when the water droplets go up in the cool atmosphere, it cools down to form water droplets. This is called condensation. On cooling, water vapor changes back in the drops of water. This is called condensation. You can see same sort of thing at home. Pour a glass of cold water on a hot day and watch what happens. Water forms on the outside of the glass. That water didn't somehow leak through the glass. It actually came from the air. Water vapors in the warm air turns back into liquid when it touches the cold glass. So, if you want to see the process of condensation, just take a very cold, chilled water in a glass, and then after some time, when the water vapors present in the air they touch the cool surface, they get collected on the surface of the glass, and that is called condensation. Now, what is precipitation? It occurs when so much water has condensed that the air cannot hold it anymore. The clouds get heavy and water falls back to the earth in form of rain, hail, sleet or snow. Then comes collection. A lot of water on the earth does not take part in water cycle. Much of it is stored. The ocean is the largest storage of water. Around 96% of the earth's water is stored in ocean and seas. We cannot drink the salty ocean water. Fresh water is also stored in lakes, glaciers, and rivers. All right. So, when it gets back, water is being collected in these sources of water. Now, these are the key terms that we learned today. Delta. It is an area of flat land shaped like a triangle where a river divides into smaller rivers as it goes into the sea. Salty water, water with dissolved salts. Potable water, water in gaseous state, and industrial waste is waste material produced by industrial activities. Also remember that all living things need water to live and grow. Rain is the main source of water on the earth. Other sources of water are underground water, surface water like lakes, river, ponds, etc. The place where river joins the sea is called the mouth of the river. Water exists in nature in three forms: solid, liquid and gas. Careful use of water is called water conservation. Every city has water purification plant. There are four main stages in water cycle: evaporation, condensation, precipitation and collection. Now let's complete this exercise and see what have we learned today. You have to choose the correct option. Some rivers dry up in summers are known as non-perennial rivers. Dash is not a source of fresh water. C. Which of these is waterborne disease? Typhoid. We can conserve water by rainwater harvesting. On cooling, water vapor changes back into drops of water and this is called condensation. You have to tick the correct statements, cross out the wrong ones. Narmada, Krishna, Godavari are non-perennial rivers, correct? Or they are the rain-fed rivers. Chemicals like chlorine and iodine is added to water to purify it, correct? Precipitation helps to store water, correct? Water exists in four forms, wrong. Boiling is the method to purify water, correct? You have to answer the following questions in your notebook yourself. We can discuss over here in short. Why is water necessary to us? Water is necessary for us to survive, to live. It is used for drinking, for cleaning utensils, for washing, for bathing, and many other purposes. What are the various sources of water? Various sources of water are ocean, lakes, river, ponds, underground water, rain, etc. What are waterborne diseases? The diseases caused by the usage of contaminated water are called waterborne diseases. For example, typhoid, cholera, jaundice, hepatitis, etc. How can we conserve water? We can conserve water by using it efficiently, by using it optimally, and then you can write different ways of conserving water. Which water is fit for drinking? Fresh water is fit for drinking. The water which is being collected from river, ocean, ponds, underground, etc. And then when it is purified and made germ free, it becomes fit for drinking. What are the various stages of water cycle? Draw its diagram. So you have to tell about evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. So tell about them and draw a beautiful diagram. It is given in your book. Now, these are some fun based questions that you can do yourself with your family, with your friends, and have fun with the lesson. You have to make a large poster or a chart paper and then divide it into sections for each water source you identified, right? Then use markers and pencils to write their names. Then you can make a 3D model using clay or Play-Doh to make the mouth of the river and delta and how is it going in the sea. Then you can also make small bridges over the rivers and small plants around the river, small rocks around the river, and it'll look really beautiful. Now, set up stimulation of river's flow using a large container or a sand table. Fill the container with sand or soil. Create a miniature landscape with hills and valleys, something like this. So, it's a group activity. You can just work in groups to make such a model. So that's all for today in this chapter. I hope you have learned a lot about the uses of water, the sources of water, how to conserve water, and how can we avoid water pollution. So keep learning, keep shining. Bye bye.